The steel door slams shut behind them before anyone reaches it. A siren starts echoing through the tunnel even though the bunker has no electricity. The floor trembles hard enough to crack concrete beneath their boots. Somewhere deeper underground, something metallic drags across stone. The emergency lights suddenly ignite one by one down the corridor. None of them notice the old footprints already surrounding them. Hours earlier, the team arrived on the island expecting a routine land survey for a luxury resort. Local workers refuse to approach the northern cliffs. An elderly islander watches their convoy leave the village without speaking. He grips two small carved figures tied together with string. The guide explains the cliffs were abandoned after disappearances during the war. The bald man laughs and keeps driving. The survey drones detect a hidden structure beneath the hill. Concrete vents protrude from the earth like exposed ribs. Fresh footprints lead toward the entrance despite claims nobody visits the site. The woman notices incense still burning near the doorway. The elderly islander appears again without anyone seeing him arrive. He warns them the tunnel does not release survivors. The heavy-set man secretly pockets one of the carved figures after the islander leaves. The string connecting the pair snaps. Inside the bunker, the air feels warm despite decades of abandonment. Condensation drips from pipes that should be dry. They discover military bunks still neatly arranged as if soldiers left moments ago. A teacup on a table is still warm. The guide wants to leave immediately after finding human bones fused into concrete. The others accuse him of trying to scare them. A distant radio transmission begins crackling through the bunker. Nobody recognizes the language, but the voice sounds terrified. The woman discovers claw marks covering a blast door from floor to ceiling. Something tried to escape from the inside. A violent tremor knocks everyone unconscious for several seconds. When they wake up, the bunker generators are running. The tunnel entrance is now sealed by fresh concrete. Rainwater no longer pours through the cracks above them. The heavy-set man insists somebody trapped them underground as revenge for the resort project. The guide refuses to answer him. While searching alone, the guide hears his dead mother singing somewhere nearby. The song grows louder each time he stops moving. The woman finds a dried corpse sitting upright in a locked chamber. Its skin stretches tightly over a familiar tattooed arm. The tattoo matches the bald man standing beside her. He immediately claims the corpse belonged to a soldier, but he stops speaking when he sees the same mark. The radio suddenly broadcasts coordinates leading deeper underground. The voice repeats the same phrase over and over, only one leaves. The guide admits the carvings were never meant to be separated. One was buried underground, and the other remained with island caretakers. The heavy-set man reveals he kept one of the figures after entering the tunnel. A loud metallic impact echoes somewhere far below them. The woman notices condensation spreading across the walls in human-shaped patterns. They vanish whenever she points a flashlight directly at them. The bald man forces everyone to keep moving instead of turning back. He believes there must be another exit beneath the bunker. The guide discovers wartime helmets stacked beside fresh food and lit candles. Someone has been living underground recently. A voice begins speaking through the radio in perfect English. It warns them not to trust the bald man. The heavy-set man follows footsteps into a maintenance shaft and finds an elderly prisoner chained to the wall. The prisoner whispers his exact name. Before anyone else arrives, the prisoner cuts his own throat using broken metal. The tremors immediately return stronger than before. The generators overload and flood the corridors with blinding white light. For several seconds, the bunker looks completely restored. Soldiers in wartime uniforms briefly appear in the hallway carrying stretchers. None of them acknowledge the survey team. The woman discovers a medical ledger documenting survivors held underground for decades after the war officially ended. Every entry ends with the same phrase. The final page says the curse survives through isolation, not death. The bald man quietly tears the page from the book. The guide begins hearing chanting from inside the walls. He presses his ear against the concrete and starts bleeding from one eye. The heavy-set man claims he saw someone identical to himself disappear around a corner. Nobody believes him until they find fresh footprints beside his own. A hidden elevator shaft descends beneath the original bunker. The air rising from below smells like seawater and burned flesh. The woman insists they stay together from now on. Seconds later, the lights cut out and the guide vanishes. They find the guide standing motionless inside a burial cavern surrounded by carved skulls. He claims the tunnel already chose its survivor. The carved figures begin vibrating violently whenever brought close together. Hairline fractures spread across the wooden surfaces.